Okay, so welcome again. Lifecycle Insights Booster, the very first one. It is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and I wanted to invite Infima here, which is a security awareness training, and Zach Carter, who is, and we're going to talk about behaviors on security awareness. And Zach Carter is the Director of Awesome there at Infima, Director of Partnerships, aka your best friend. Go ahead and introduce yourself as far as that is concerned, Zach.
Yeah, no, so Mark, thank you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, no, so like Mark said, I'm Zach. Look to be your best friend, right? But we do security awareness training, and obviously, like you said, it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So what better thing to kick off the month than talking about keeping your end users trained, right?
Right.
So
that's right.
So yeah, I guess, Mark, I'm happy to kind of walk through what it is that we do, kind of share my screen if that makes sense to just kind of jump in. Yeah,
go for it.
Awesome, cool. So I'll share my screen to give a quick overview of what we do. We focus on helping train end users with both security awareness training as well as simulated phishing. What's really nice is we have an integration with Lifecycle to help ultimately serve you, the partner, right? That is the end goal. So I'll share my screen and just kind of walk you through what makes things hopefully really nice for you, the partner. So as we're jumping in, one of the big things, and we'll just make it fairly quick, right? Specifically serving the partner community is you're on board, right? Most partners probably have training phishing in place, or their end clients have asked for it, more specifically around cyber insurance, right? It's becoming a hot requirement. There's even a couple states out there that are requiring having this layer of protection in place, right? Oftentimes, though, when we're talking with partners, what we've found is that there is a level of lift for you, the partner. So one of the really nice things is, because we're focused on working and helping serve the partner community, your onboard, and you might see it on my shirt, is literally done in 3 clicks. So I'll just walk you through ultimately what that would look like. Okay. So you're going to simply sync all users, right? From here, you're simply going to select your admin tenant. So, whatever that particular client happens to be, in this case, we're working with the great company, Bruce Wayne or Wayne Manor, right? So when this happens to load, and then from there, all you're going to do is accept permissions. That's literally it. Those 3 clicks. Once we've accepted permissions, your client is totally onboarded. And what's really cool from here is everything else is set. So if you've got something in place, you might be used to having to build out those campaigns and schedule different phishing campaigns and reports and whatnot. Once you've done this, it'll sync multiple times a day, keeping end users, level with whatever's in the 365 environment. Or if you've got a client on Google, same thing. And from there, it's simply just going to run. So every user gets a different phishing email, different time, different day, keeping that one-on-one event happening. And Mark, I'll pick on you for a second, right? If Mark happens to click on a simulation, he's going to get a landing page. It's going to hit his screen immediately, and it's going to let him know what he can do to keep himself as well as his company and team safe. That's really the big thing about it.
I didn't do it, Zach. It wasn't me.
Well, that's okay, right? I think the big thing, and that's maybe one of the big misconceptions, right, is that people, they click on these simulations and they think, oh man, I got my hand slapped. That's the opposite direction of really what we're trying to do, right? We want to help partners keep their end users as prepared and safe as possible by helping change the behavior of how they interact with emails, right, and how they hit their inbox. So every landing page is going to be tied back to whatever that particular event was end user clicked on. And then from there, you're actually getting phished again if you're an end user. So the people that are clicking are getting phished more frequently on a regular basis. And then from a training component, regardless if the end user is clicking or not, that person's still going to get a training course sent to them quarterly that's covering different NIST related topics. So it's keeping it on an ongoing annual curriculum cycle. Nice thing is, no one wants to do long, 45-minute to an hour trainings, right? So every single course is intended to be done 5 to 7 minutes with a quiz. So it keeps it consistent. And effectively what that's going to look like when it hits the end user's inbox is just going to be a very simple, straightforward tokenized link. So when it goes into their inbox, it's going to go, hey, Mark, you've been enrolled in XYZ training. And then from there, it's going to be a simple just start course button. All right. So Forgive me for it taking a second to load. But in short, the big thing is when we're talking about as a partner, what's your number one resource, right? It's time. It's the number one thing, right? Like Mark, I think, in the past, you and I may have had that conversation talking about what is that hot commodity, and it's time. It's how are we able to help serve our partners to help provide that back to them. And so effectively that training notification is going to be very straightforward when it goes to them. And the partner doesn't have to go through and build these different campaigns or any of these pieces. But ultimately, the one big piece, right, and we're just kind of waiting on this piece to load here, is with life cycles, there's a reporting metric, right? And there's that integration like we were talking about. So one of the big pieces is being able to have consistent reporting. So having that integration, how it's tying together. But one of the things that we're doing is providing monthly automated reports per tenant to both you, the partner, as well as if you would like it to go to your point of contact, right? So as you're continuing to grow as a partner, it makes it super easy for you to scale. So you're not now having, 30, 40, 50 clients getting these individual reports and then spending an entire day dishing them out. They're already sent out for you that's white labeled with your logo. But this is that training course notification I was referencing. So it just makes it super simple for your end user. They don't have to go in and call you and say, hey, Mark, I forgot my password again. Can you reset it, right? Just removes the need for them to have to do that.
Yep. Awesome.
But from that monthly report perspective, as I was talking about, it's an executive summary. So your client, as well as your team, you have a consistent feedback. You understand how things are going. So you can see how training is progressing throughout the year, month over month, quarter over quarter. You're able to see the end users that are off track. So those that need to catch up on training, right? You can quickly identify this if you're going through a QBR. This is being pulled into that life cycles page, right? So again, if you're that life cycles partner, you're able to quickly identify the same information. As well as phishing, you're able to see that click progression month over month. So you can really build that story. Hey, Mr. Partner or Mr. Client, right? You've had this in place for X amount of months. We can see that your end users are being more attentive to what's hitting their inbox. And the same thing, you can see who's clicking and when. All of this going back to that 3-click piece. But I think the one big piece, right, and we talked about this a second ago, is a lot of the forcing functions, one being cyber insurance, right? Others maybe being security audits, vendor questionnaires, things like that. But it's ultimately having that proof of what it is, right? That, oh, okay, hey, Mark, you said that your team's doing training and phishing, but what does that look like? Well, now you're able to have this white labeled policy that outlines the entire training and phishing program. So you're providing directly to your end client, hey, Mr. Client, here's all of the NIST related topics your end users are being trained on an ongoing basis, all the way down through your entire program, phishing, training, reporting, etc., without your team having to go and configure or build this out per tenant. Again, this would be white labeled, and it would reference, you notice we switched gears from Bruce Wayne to Stark Enterprises, or industries. Nonetheless, it's going to be specific for that client. So now they have it on file if they're going through, like I said, an audit or insurance or vendor questionnaire. If someone just says, hey, are you training your team? They can confidently say, yep, in fact, here we go. So that's really the full flow of what we do at Infima. Is we want to make sure that we're helping serve you, the partner, and ultimately help you, kind of tag team and help serve your end client. So I'll stop sharing. I'll pass it back to you, Mark, and kind
of. One of the things that you talked about, and I actually have it on my slide here, is the greatest commodity that we have, or the most important commodity, is time. Yeah. But when you're talking about it in a business review standpoint, what have you seen? Like, do you see that monthly reporting is too much, or is quarterly reporting too little? Like, what are you seeing on at least as far as reporting is concerned, and what do you think MSP should do?
Yeah, I think really, MSPs know what's going to be best for, one, their business, but two, maybe even more specifically for their end clients, right? You may have two different, no two clients are going to be identical. Mm-hmm. I think what was really nice, I think both those two pieces can kind of marry together. What we've seen with working with our partners is, because we're able to help provide monthly automated reports per tenant, what it allows is a couple of things. It allows for constant feedback or consistent feedback. One, to the MSP partners, they know, okay, cool, I know how this client is progressing their training. But also because it's able to go to that end client, that point of contact is also able to be, kind of hands-on within the training. They're also able to see that, kind of flow build up. But when you're then meeting quarterly, both parties are already on the same page, and they kind of see how things are progressing over time. one, the training, like we looked at, you can see how the courses are progressing from a high level, but even the fishing, right? It builds this picture, throughout the year. So I really think the best answer is they both kind of marry together.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you guys what it actually would look like in in Lifecycle Insights and whatnot. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Okay, so can you guys see my screen? Is that a yes? Awesome. So
Gotcha.
we are with, I'm on the dashboard for Creative Designs, and that's my company. And basically, first and foremost, you got to integrate it. So if you're partnered with Infima or any other security awareness program, integrations right here. We have Infima, SaaS Layer Augment, all these other ones, but I'm just going to click on Infima as far as the API credentials, we put it on there, and then you have to company match for the companies that you want this enabled for. The logs are there for, just basically basic download logs that we have for importing. And then you'll see it under more reports under the Infima security awareness right there. And this is what he showed you as far as the demo was concerned, fish click rates, courses due, are they up to date in training? So this is more really, and it's not a punishment tool where you see this, hey, they have a red here. We really got to talk to them and punish them on it. It's more really behavioral and a behavioral tool that you can actually go in and say, hey, we need to really help Lee get up to date on training because one, it's more secure for you. You'll be more productive. You'll be more secure when, as far as the security awareness training is concerned and whatnot. So Infima already has reporting that gets sent out either through to you, to your clients, to whoever your contact is there. We do have that ability as well to export these, and then you can email it. And as I build this onto my report builder, I already have it on my template, but it's a component that you can just add into to a report. But since I already have my template, I'm just going to go into Mark's template there. And I actually have Infima on the bottom here. Now, as far as your clients are concerned on building these reports, really, as Zach was saying, it really depends on your client on what they want as far as these business reviews are for. If they're more security focused, or if you as an MSP are more security focused and security awareness training, especially in Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and it's more important for you, I would move that Infima reporting all the way to the top. That's one of the first things I want to talk about. Why? Because it's important for them to see, hey, are they up to date in their training? Are their courses due for other people? What's the phishing click rate on these people? And have that conversation to change those behaviors immediately from the get-go. The things that, as far as the other things that are concerned, like the budgets and whatnot, if they're buying everything but they're not secure, they're more than likely going to spend a lot more when they get breached and whatnot. So that is just one of the ways that you can add into reporting, and then I just save that. It is now part of my template, and you can either present from here, which is presentation mode. And this presentation mode just basically shows you the components on the right side will now be on the left. And it is something that you can show virtually to your clients in a virtual business review standard. So there's that Infima, and you can just click on and show them everything else. So back to, did we have anybody have any questions for Zach as far as what, security awareness training, or why, or and whatnot? Do we have anybody who has any questions? No? Bueller? Okay. So I'm going to go back into my slides and ask you. All right, Zach, why Infima?
Why Infima? I think the biggest thing is Infima is focused on serving the partner community, right? That is the tool itself, right? Those 3 clicks, like we talked about, those were built specifically for the partner to try and help streamline our partners, lift, like we talked about, streamline their time and everything else to help ultimately provide a consistent tool to their clients and users on a regular basis. So, but by focusing on serving the partners, we're ultimately helping them serve their clients. And that's our end goals, right? Helping people stay safe and change the end user behavior, because I think kind of really where we're going with that next question is it's an ever evolving, surface of unfortunate events, right? That seem to happen. So.
Yep. Cyber is definitely going places, and we have to actually acclimate to where cyber is going. So glad you answered that second part of the question. So I actually went into LinkedIn and I saw this on one of the posts on 3 reasons cyber offerings is crippling your MSP. And one of them is analysis paralysis. Like there's so many new tools out there coming in and out, and just looking at it, it's a little overwhelming. The fact that there's only 3 clicks that you got to do for Infima, that is one time saver. It's amazing. It's easy. You're one part of that is your team is trying, but you can tell they're flailing because there's so many other products and whatnot. The fact that we have some kind of integration with Lifecycle Insights makes this easier for you during a business review standard or a VCIO type of conversation. Right. The other one is compounding pressure. All these products build pressure, and pressure either makes diamonds or bursts pipes. So those 2 things, and some have that feeling of, it's just too much to handle at one point. Once again, the easiness of this product is amazing. Last one is constant demand for innovation. Your MSP, once leading, can now be at risk of being a follower. So the things that, like what Infima is doing, the things that they're providing, the behavioral standpoint of security awareness, that's definitely a leading part. But they're also evolving where cyber is going and whatnot, and it is a relentless march forward, because 2024 is going to look different from here on out. Any questions? That's pretty much the whole webinar today. We didn't expect this to take a whole hour. We would love to give you your time back if you guys don't have any questions for Zach or I at this moment. No questions? Gary, Casey, Joe, Jeff, Don, Caitlin? Casey went off mic, went off mute.
Zach, hey buddy, I joined a little bit late today. And Mark, thank you very much, man. I love the way you do this, call people out and, put them in a corner. No, and I apologize. I did join late, Zach, but I'm going to be reaching out to you because I would like to get some more information. So I'll probably hit you up on LinkedIn and we'll go from there.
Yeah, that's Zach, would you mind putting either your email or your LinkedIn on the chat for me so that they can have that available? Yes. I totally forgot to ask you that, or I zoned out when we met yesterday.
It's your first day.
Not a problem. Actually, I'm putting I'm just putting my email in the chat now.
Okay.
And then that way, feel free to shoot me a note. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to connect one-on-one. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. And then so lastly, once again, this is the first one. We're going to build upon this, and I actually already have a roadmap for you for the next Lifecycle Insights Booster. So the next one is going to be Robert Chiaffi. He's a CEO and founder of his company, and he in a lack of better words, was one of the people that was in the was that SolarWinds hack back in 2021? Was it? Yeah. And he's going to be talking about his experiences and what he's done to better him and his company from out of the ashes of that whole situation. And then on the 25th of this month, I'm going to be talking with Damian Stevens. He's the CEO and founder of Servosity. Servosity is a backup and disaster recovery company, and we're gonna be talking about security and backups and how to include those reporting. So we don't have an integration with that company. This is just somebody I know, and we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to see or show you guys how you can include backup disaster recovery information with Lifecycle Insights. Then on the 1st of November, I'm going to be talking about budgets. One of the things is one of the memes or things that I've seen or quotes is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So it's never too late to give your clients a budget forecast. And then we're going to deep dive on that budget forecasting and how to build that budget on the 8th of November. And on the 15th, I'm going to ask our devs for Lifecycle Insights and ScalePad to, we're going to look back on some things, the things that we actually implemented, which one was Infima. We're going to add more things before that time. Just be on the lookout for it. And we're going to look forward and take feature requests for each and every person, and we'll mark it down for you guys and all that good stuff. Now, if we don't have any other questions, concerns, emotional outbursts, I will let you guys have 30 minutes of your day. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll go from there. Any questions, Don?
Good. Nope. I'm just going to say have a great week. We'll see
Oh,
next
you
week.
too, man. Yeah. See you guys next week. I loved our first event. 30 minutes. Oh, I feel good. I feel good.
Hey.
This is going to be great. Zach, thank you so much for coming here. Larry, thank you as well. You were going to say something?
Oh no, just say thank you very much for having me,
Yeah.
and I'm glad we were able to help you get this booster kicked off, and really appreciated it and had a good time. And so thank you.
You will have that claim that you were the first ever guest on a booster, dude. That is.
It's definitely a LinkedIn tag for sure. Like no question, right?
I actually changed my LinkedIn. It's like my job title is booster host.
That's awesome.
So I'm there. I'm on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and call everybody out again. Caitlin, do you have anything for us? She's not gonna go. Oh, she went off mute.
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you
All
both
right.
so much for this.
No problem. Gary?
Yeah, all good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jeff? Thank you.
I'm happy, Mark. Thanks.
Oh, I'm happy too. Joe?
Hey man, always good to see you, and I appreciate you guys your time and expertise today.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Thank you for supporting. And
Yep.
Casey, anything from you? I know I
all
put you on the
good.
corner again.
Zach, you've already got an email from me, man.
Awesome. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Don,
good.
Larry, Zach, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We'll talk later.
Awesome, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks now. Have a good one.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.